Hey friends, I'm Henry with BrainStormAcres. I'm sitting in the car. Now I bet you're wondering why. Well, the reason is it's just too darn windy and noisy outside to do any filming today. I'll try to grab some footage when I'm building the new irrigation for the 3 berry beds. It's going to be kind of nasty. High winds, it's higher today than it was yesterday. It's also cooler. Yesterday we had temperatures in the upper 70s. Today it's in the low 60s. That's not a big deal, but this wind makes it kind of nasty. And it makes moving sheet goods like a piece of cardboard an interesting time. Yesterday I started diagnosing the box truck's air conditioning system. We're going to be heading towards Southern California pretty quick, and it's kind of hot when you drive through Yuma. My friend Sandy from suburban homestead of Wyoming, AZ, just left Yuma to go back to her home in Wyoming. That was good because the temperature's getting higher and the fire danger is going up as well. We've driven this route to Potrero, California. That's Potrero County Park in San Diego County. For about 12 or 13 years, I think, something like that. And we know that there's certain parts that are going to be really hot no matter what. One of them is Yuma. We had to drive last year with Jack, Irene's previous service dog, in over 100-degree weather. The air conditioner quit and we had to stop a few times trying to get some work done on it, but it never worked right. We took the box truck down to Prescott a few days ago to pick up some supplies at a big box store. The items were too big to fit in this small car, and it's even too big to fit in the Range Rover, which, although that's not running right now, is a little bit bigger. So we went down and picked up the materials that we needed to complete the berry beds, and the air conditioner stopped. It stopped twice during the 50-mile trip. Now, it wasn't too bad because the temperature was only in the mid-70s. But I can tell you that if the air conditioner quits like that when we're driving through Yuma, it's going to be pure T misery. Now, why am I doing this and not just taking it into a shop? Well, I've done that. I've taken the truck into at least 4 shops over the past year, and nobody can find a problem. The air conditioner just doesn't fail when it's in the shop. It quits when I'm driving. So I have the front grill off the truck. I have a bunch of measuring devices to measure temperature, and I have the pressure gauges to measure the pressure of the refrigerant in the air conditioning system. I'll go about the process of diagnosing the problem, and I have a friend of a friend who is an automotive air conditioning expert. He's retired, but this truck has an old enough system that he knows it pretty well. I have a few pointers from him to go try. I'll try them, and we'll see where we go. I have to get this fixed. It's just not acceptable to be driving Irene, myself, and Rufus 550 miles in temperatures that can be over 100 degrees. No air conditioning, no good. Well, I'm back in the house now. The drive into town was uneventful, if a bit windy. It pushed the car around on the road some, but it was okay. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I have a bunch of projects that are stacking up here on this table in our great room. I have a few things to take care of, a little bit of cleaning to do. One of the things I'm going to talk about is this piece of equipment here. Has a red cover on it. In 2016, I designed a resin printer. That's a 3D printer for using resin that cures from ultraviolet light. I built the printer using some relatively expensive aluminum product that was really designed to make industrial assemblies. So it was used for such things as cases for machine tools, so a CNC machine, something like that. And other pieces of custom equipment. Well, this is a piece of custom equipment that I designed. The idea was that I was going to use the same kind of structure, use the same kind of resin. This photopolymer. It works really great for all manner of 3D printers that are based on using ultraviolet light to set the resin. I built the specific track that I used to move the build station up and down. The build station, here, let me get one of these right here. It's just a piece of steel or aluminum that is used to hold the 3D model when you're building it. This build platform goes down into this tank of resin, and then light shines up through the resin up against the bottom of the plate, exposes the resin and hardens it. Well, when you do the exposure the right way, the resin will stick to this build plate. And that was the idea behind the printer I was building. And then came February of 2017 and my car accident. That really threw me for a loop. And this red plastic cover serves a couple of purposes. One is it contains the fumes from this resin. It doesn't smell real great. It's not that bad, but it's not that real good either. So this will help contain the fumes, but it also will contain any stray UV light that might come out of this machine. It goes together pretty easily, but there is some cleanup that's required when you're done using it, and that's what I'm doing now. Now I'm being careful not to get the resin on my hands, mostly because you can get sensitized to it and have an allergic reaction. There's also chemicals in it that I'd rather just not be present in my body. I'm using isopropyl alcohol. And when I was a kid, isopropyl alcohol was commonly used by doctors when they were going to give you an injection. So they'd clean your skin with the isopropyl alcohol. If they're really nice, they'd let it dry and then give you the injection. If you didn't let it dry, then you'd have a little bit of unpleasant stinging from the isopropyl alcohol. Now this is called a resin vat, and this goes onto the 3D printer. It has a clear plastic bottom. That allows the resin to go in here on the top, and then light can shine up through the bottom. It doesn't matter doing that right now, but it works. Now you may wonder why we have this 3D printer if I built one. And the answer is I got stopped just short of making my printer work completely. Now, one of the advantages to the printer that I designed was it had a much larger build area. That is, I could have larger models being built out of this 3D resin. This retail 3D printer cost around $300 when I bought it new. It works just the same way that the printer that I designed would work. It works very well, and I've been using it for the past week. Now you may wonder why I've been using this 3D printer. Well, I had a general interest in 3D printers for a lot of reasons, but one of the big things that I did recently was I started building some pieces for Irene to use in her business. There are some things that when she makes, she carves by hand. But there's some things that are better built using a 3D printer to create a model that is a specific size and shape with no real artistic value to it. It's really a structural piece. So I've been doing that for the past week or so. And Irene's in the process right now in the other room. Yes, we're doing a lot of this stuff up in the house right now. It's really windy outside. If we were out in the greenhouse, you wouldn't be able to hear what I'm saying. If we were down in the studio. Hey Irene, how noisy would it be in the studio? She says it sounds like like she's in a drum and somebody's banging on it. It's really loud. So we're up here in the house. It's a lot quieter. We don't have wind coming through, so that we're actually able to get some things done. Now I'd planned to be out building some irrigation today, but this is our third day this week, or fourth day this week, where we've had high winds. And high winds, we're having gusts to 35 or 40 miles an hour, so it's pretty nasty. Well, now that I have some models going for Irene's business, I have other things to do here. I have a total of 4 display boxes with all of the bits and pieces to finish the construction. So I'll be doing that. And when that's all done, in a future show, we'll show you what those look like. And I'll explain why we did it the way we've done it. Well, I hope this is of some interest to you. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, because we're still doing a lot of stuff. We have more irrigation to do, which I'm hoping to get done in the next couple of days. And I have that box truck to figure out what's going on with the air conditioning. The reason why I'm doing it is because the air conditioning does not fail in the shop. It only fails when I'm driving the truck on the road. That means I need to have all the tools with me to do the diagnostics on the side of the road when it fails. So that's one of the other things that's going on. Oh, and by the way, today, tomorrow, and Saturday, our county is having a community cleanup project where I can take anything that we want to have go to the dump that's not hazardous or certain other restrictions and take it to the dump for free. That's a big deal because to take a carload of trash to the local tipping station is about $20. I'd like to get rid of a couple $100 worth of stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll talk with you again later. Bye. And keep brainstorming. It's important.